You tell yourself every shift is going to be the last one. Every single shift. You say it while brushing your teeth at 5:12 a.m. You say it while putting your scrubs on. You say it while staring at your own reflection like you're trying to convince a stranger to stop ruining your life. But then today becomes tomorrow. Then tomorrow becomes 6 months. Then suddenly you're Googling things like, how long does fentanyl stay in hospital inventory logs? And can Pyxis machines detect emotional damage? Spoiler alert, apparently they can, because somebody is definitely watching you. And honestly, you kinda deserve it. The automatic hospital doors slide open. The smell hits instantly. Hand sanitizer, coffee, bleach, sadness. Hospitals always smell like somebody's worst day. You clock in, 6:43 a.m. Your unit is already chaos. A nurse named Kayla is crying at the station because a patient threw mashed potatoes at her last night. Again, somebody's monitor is beeping. A resident is speed walking down the hallway looking like he hasn't slept since the Obama administration. Normal. You smile. Fake smile. Professional smile. Hospital smile. The kind of smile healthcare workers master right before mentally collapsing in a supply closet. Morning, you say. Everybody says morning back. Nobody knows you almost called out because your hands were shaking so badly you couldn't hold your car keys. Nobody knows you already checked the narcotics cabinet in your head before even stepping onto the floor. Hydromorphone, morphine, fentanyl. Your brain says the names like they're old friends. That's the scary part. Not the stealing, not the lying. The familiarity, the comfort. Like your addiction moved into your skull and started paying rent. You grab your assignment sheet. 6 patients. 1 confused grandpa. 1 post-op knee replacement. 1 woman screaming at everybody because dietary forgot her pudding. And 1 terminal cancer patient. Room 214. The patient has a fentanyl PCA pump. Your stomach flips. Your brain instantly notices it, like a shark smelling blood in water. You hate yourself for that. Actually hate yourself. You used to be different. That's what kills you. You used to care. You became a nurse because your mom was sick when you were 16. Lung cancer. You remember the nurses who treated her like a person instead of a diagnosis. 1 nurse braided her hair. Another snuck her milkshakes. You remember thinking, I want to be like them. Now look at you, stealing pain medication from dying people like some kind of hospital goblin. Character development, but in the worst possible direction. You begin morning meds. Your hands are steady now. That's another terrifying thing. You've gotten good at this. Too good. Experienced addicts stop looking nervous. That's how they survive. By 9 a.m., the cravings hit. Hard. Your skin feels too tight. Your thoughts feel itchy. Your body aches in weird places. You know exactly how to fix it. That's the problem. You pass room 214 again. You glance at the fentanyl pump, then immediately look away. No, not today. You're done after today. Remember? Your phone buzzes. Unknown number. You ignore it. Buzz again. You step into the staff bathroom and answer. Hello? Silence. Then, inventory audit this week. Your blood freezes. What? Click. The call ends. You stare at the screen. No caller ID. Your chest tightens. Inventory audit. Inventory audit. Inventory audit. Your brain repeats the words like an alarm siren. You immediately start sweating. You know the numbers haven't been perfect. You've been careful. Mostly. Okay, maybe not mostly. There were nights you barely remember. Nights where you convinced yourself you'd replace things later. Nights where you charted waste amounts too quickly. Nights where another nurse signed without really paying attention. Everybody's exhausted. That's the dirty secret hospitals never tell people. Exhaustion hides everything. You leave the bathroom. Your coworker Mia notices instantly. You okay? Yeah. You look pale. Thanks, Queen. She laughs. You don't. Mia narrows her eyes. You sure? Just tired. Everybody believes tired. That's the magic word in healthcare. Tired explains everything. Shaky hands? Tired. Mood swings? Tired. Crying in a linen closet at 2 a.m.? Tired. Nobody asks questions because everybody's falling apart too. You survive the morning. Barely. At noon, you enter the medication room. Empty. Quiet. The Pyxis machine glows in the dim light. You stare at it. It feels stupidly dramatic, like the world's worst game show. One choice changes everything. You type your password. Your fingers hesitate, then stop. No. No, no, no. You cancel the screen. You breathe. You're sweating again. You grip the counter. You can do this. You can survive one shift. Then your phone buzzes. Bank account overdrawn. Your dealer texted last night. Need payment. Your rent is late. Your body hurts. And suddenly your brain starts negotiating. Just enough to stop feeling sick. Just enough. That's how addiction talks. It never sounds evil. It sounds reasonable. You reopen the Pyxis. Your heart pounds so loudly you think somebody outside can hear it. You pull a vial, then another. Your breathing gets faster. You pocket one. You chart the other. You've done this before, too many times. Your hands move automatically, like muscle memory, like your body learned betrayal. Then the medication room door opens. You nearly launch into orbit. It's Dr. Patel. Whoa, he says. You okay? You force a laugh. Yeah, you scared me. You look like you saw a ghost. Nah, just caffeine deficiency. Relatable. He grabs supplies and leaves. You stand there frozen. You realize your entire back is soaked with sweat. This is getting worse. Way worse. You go into the employee bathroom, lock the door, sit on the toilet lid. You stare at the vial in your hand. There's this moment, this tiny, microscopic moment, where you still have a choice. Throw it away. Walk out. Tell somebody. Cry. Beg for help. Anything. Instead, you use. The relief hits instantly. Warm. Heavy. Your muscles unclench. Your thoughts slow down. Your anxiety dissolves like sugar in water. And for a few seconds, you feel normal. That's why addicts chase it. Not to get high, to feel okay. You close your eyes, then immediately feel disgusted with yourself. Because you're at work, at a hospital. People trust you. Parents trust you. Patients trust you. You stand up too quickly. The room tilts. You grip the sink. Oh my God, you whisper. You look terrible. Pupils tiny. Face flushed. You splash water on yourself. You practice smiling. It looks horrifying, like a haunted customer service employee. You return to the floor. Everything feels slightly unreal now. Muted. Floaty. A patient asks for water. You bring it. Another asks for pain meds. You scan the bracelet. You smile. You function. And somehow, that's the worst part. Because addicts don't always look destroyed. Sometimes they still show up, still chart, still joke, still save lives, which makes it easier to pretend there isn't a problem, until there absolutely is. At 3:17 p.m., your manager calls you. Can you come to my office for a second? Your soul leaves your body. This is it. You know it. You walk down the hallway feeling like you're marching toward execution. Every sound feels louder. Shoes squeaking, monitors beeping, someone laughing at the nurse's station. How are people acting normal right now? Your manager, Denise, sits behind her desk. She looks exhausted. Healthcare managers always look like they're one email away from becoming villains. Close the door, she says. You do. You prepare for impact. She sighs. We've had discrepancies in narcotics counts. Your stomach drops into another dimension. You nod slowly. Oh, administration is doing a review. You force yourself to breathe normally. Okay. Have you noticed anything unusual? This is the moment. Confess. Right now. Your mouth opens. Nothing comes out. Because fear wins. Fear almost always wins. No, you say. The lie sounds tiny. Pathetic. Denise studies your face. You genuinely think she knows. Then somebody knocks on the office door. A patient emergency. Denise sighs. We'll talk later. You leave. Your legs feel weak. You almost just confessed. Almost. But almost doesn't count. The rest of the shift becomes a blur. Every interaction feels dangerous. Every glance feels suspicious. Mia asks if you want coffee. Your brain translates it into, I know what you did. Dr. Patel says your name. Your brain translates it into, we found the missing meds. Paranoia is brutal, especially when you're actually guilty. At 6:40 p.m., you hear security walking down the hallway. Your pulse spikes instantly. 2 officers, talking casually, not even looking at you. But your brain is already preparing a prison documentary. Here we see the former nurse in her natural habitat. You nearly laugh. The scary thing about stress is eventually your brain becomes memes for survival. Otherwise, you'd implode. Near shift change, room 214 starts crashing. The cancer patient. The whole team rushes in. Monitors screaming. Family crying. Respiratory therapy. Doctors. Nurses. Chaos. Pure hospital chaos. You help stabilize him. Your hands move automatically. Push meds. Check vitals. Adjust oxygen. And for a moment, you remember who you used to be. The real you. The nurse. Not the addict. The patient's daughter grabs your arm afterward. Thank you, she says, crying. You've all been amazing. You almost break. Because she means it. She has no idea. You walk into the supply room afterward and finally lose it. You cry silently. Ugly crying. The kind where your chest hurts. Because you realize something horrifying. You don't know how to stop anymore. Not really. Your addiction isn't fun now. It's maintenance. Survival. A full-time second job. You hear footsteps outside. You wipe your face instantly. Mia enters. She pauses. You've been acting weird for weeks. Your heart pounds. I'm fine. No, you're not. You laugh nervously. Girl, everybody here is mentally ill. I'm serious. You avoid eye contact. You can talk to me. And suddenly you want to. So badly. You want somebody else to hold this nightmare for 5 seconds. But shame is stronger. It's just stress. Mia stares at you, then nods slowly. Okay. But she doesn't believe you. You can tell. Shift finally ends. You practically sprint to your car. Your hands shake while unlocking the door. You sit in silence. No music, no phone, just breathing. You survived. Again. But you know something changed today. They're getting closer. You drive home through rain. Streetlights blur across your windshield. Your apartment complex looks depressing as usual. You climb the stairs. Inside, your apartment is a disaster. Laundry everywhere. Takeout containers. Empty energy drinks. Classic, functioning addict interior design. You collapse onto the couch. Your phone buzzes. It's Mia. You good? You stare at the text, then type, yeah, LOL. The universal lie. You toss your phone aside. Then somebody knocks on your apartment door. Your entire nervous system detonates. Nobody visits you, ever. You approach slowly. Another knock. You look through the peephole. Denise, your manager, at your apartment. Your blood turns to ice. No, 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 no. You open the door halfway. Hey. Denise looks uncomfortable. I'm sorry to come by unannounced. You say nothing. I needed to talk to you privately. Your brain is screaming. Run. Confess. Lie. Cry. Vanish into the woods. Denise sighs. One of the pharmacists flagged multiple medication discrepancies tied to your login. There it is. The sentence, the end. Your legs feel numb. You grip the doorframe. Denise's face softens, and somehow that's worse. If something is going on, she says quietly, you need to tell me now. You stare at her. This woman has yelled at nurses for clocking out late, but right now she just looks sad. You're a good nurse, she says. The words destroy you because you don't feel like one. You feel like a criminal wearing scrubs. Your eyes start watering instantly. You try to speak, can't. Try again, still nothing. Then finally, I need help. And the second you say it, everything collapses. You cry so hard you can barely breathe. Months of fear, months of lying, months of pretending, all exploding at once. Denise steps inside. She closes the door. You expect anger. Instead, she says, okay, just okay. Like maybe this isn't the end of the world. You tell her everything, not all at once. It comes out in pieces. The stress, the first time, the withdrawals, the stealing, the shame, especially the shame. Denise listens quietly. When you finish, she rubs her forehead. This has to be reported. You nod. You knew that. There will be an investigation. You nod again. Your chest hurts. You'll probably lose your job for now. That one hits hard, because nursing wasn't just a paycheck. It was your identity. Denise looks at you carefully. But if you're willing to get treatment, there may still be a path back someday. Someday. Not now, not soon, but someday. You sit there crying in your disaster apartment while rain hits the windows. And for the first time in months, you feel something strange. Not happiness, definitely not happiness, but relief. Because the hiding is over. Addiction thrives in secrecy. The darkness keeps it alive. The lies feed it. But now somebody else knows, which means maybe you stop drowning alone. A week later, you enter rehab. You hate every second of it initially. The fluorescent lights, the group therapy, the motivational posters. One poster literally says, recovery is a journey. You almost walk out immediately. Because no offense, but that sounds like something printed on a TJ Maxx pillow. Withdrawal hits hard. Sweats, nausea, anxiety. Your body feels like it's trying to escape itself. At night, you lie awake thinking about everything you destroyed. Your career, your reputation, your relationships. You think about the patients. That part hurts most. One afternoon during therapy, another nurse shares her story. ER nurse, alcohol addiction, lost everything, now sober 3 years. She laughs while telling the story. Actually laughs. Like recovery didn't erase her personality. Like life didn't end. That surprises you, because part of you thought addicts stayed broken forever. But maybe broken things can heal. Slowly, messily, still. Weeks pass, then months. Recovery isn't cinematic. That's the truth nobody tells you. It's mostly boring. Meetings, therapy, saying no, over and over. You get a part-time job at a bookstore while your nursing license review process happens. The pay sucks. Customers are weird. One man spends 40 minutes explaining cryptocurrency to you near the self-help section. Absolute psychological warfare. But you stay sober. Some days barely. Some days easily. Some days you sit in your car gripping the steering wheel because cravings slam into you out of nowhere. Recovery isn't linear. TikTok therapists love saying that. Annoyingly, they're right. One evening your phone buzzes. Mia. You haven't spoken much since everything happened. You answer nervously. Hey. Hey. Awkward silence. Then she says, I miss you at work. Your chest tightens. I messed everything up. Yeah, she says honestly. Then, but I'm glad you're alive. You start crying immediately. Again. Honestly, recovery is just crying with occasional snacks. Months later, you attend a hearing regarding your license. Terrifying experience. You wear your nicest outfit. Your hands shake the entire time. You explain everything. The addiction, treatment, sobriety. One board member asks, Why should we trust you again? You think carefully, then answer honestly. You shouldn't blindly trust me. The room goes quiet. But addiction thrives when people pretend it only happens to bad people. I thought I was too smart for it, too caring, too responsible. You swallow hard. I was wrong. Another pause. But I'm doing the work now. The hearing ends. Weeks later, you receive conditional approval to return to nursing under strict monitoring, drug testing, restrictions, therapy. It's humiliating and also fair. Your first shift back is terrifying. Different hospital, different floor. You stand outside the building for 10 full minutes before entering. Your heart pounds. But this time, it's different, because now you're honest. You're not hiding anything. That changes everything. Inside, a new nurse nervously asks you, "Does it ever get less overwhelming?" You look around the chaotic unit, monitors beeping, phones ringing, someone yelling about pudding again. You laugh. No. Then you smile, but you learn how to survive it without destroying yourself. And for the first time in a very long time, you actually believe that.